Okay, so that's the recording started. Right, welcome. And yeah, we'll just land. So using the sound of the bell, allowing the sound to arrive, to meet us where we are. Noticing the sound fading. And noticing the silence behind the sound, surrounding the sound. And tuning into the landscape or the field of sound around us, in our own places. Noticing how the sounds simply arrive. There's no effort to hear. And sound is always present. It's always here. It's always now. And can we tune into any sounds that might be quiet or far away? But we're not reaching, we're opening and receiving that sound. Maybe there's no sound, maybe it's very quiet. Can we listen? Can we hear that silence? And then we can draw our awareness towards the breath. So we narrow our awareness slightly, but focusing on the sensations or movements of the breath. And still open and receiving the breath. And noticing how it feels for the breath to leave the body as we exhale. What happens? Does the chest fall? Do the shoulders soften? Does the belly relax? Maybe we feel ourselves connecting with the ground beneath us a little bit more with every exhale. Can we give in to gravity, allowing the earth to hold us, to support us? And just checking in then with the mind, with thoughts, mental activity. What's going on? Are we busy-minded? Is it fast thinking? Or is it slow and spacious? And can we give that mental activity permission to just relax? Its job is done for the day. And we don't actually need it for this. We're already here. We're already hearing. We're already breathing. The commentary can simply subside. But we can't force the mind to quieten down. Sometimes it's quite relentless. It feels like it's doing its own thing, like we don't have much control over it because it pulls our awareness here, there, and everywhere. And that's okay. That's just what it does sometimes. So we don't try and force it to stop because that's more mind activity. But we can invite it, give it permission to settle. And when we cease to seek answers from the mind, from thoughts, then it begins to slow down naturally. We can experience everything that we need to experience without a single thought about it. So giving the mind space to do what it needs to do. Being patient and kind and understanding with ourselves. And giving ourselves absolute permission just to be here, to rest, to let go or let be. And then whenever we feel ready to, just coming back to that sense of the body, that sense of presence in the body. Maybe beginning to move the fingers and toes a little. Maybe rolling the shoulders or taking a little twist. Just whatever feels good for you and your body. And following that sound of the bell again to bring us back to the group. So here we are, guys. Welcome to Steve. So today we're going to have a little look at the 2 attitudes or principles of mindfulness, 2 of the 8, of patience and trust. Last week we looked at non-striving and gratitude. And there is 8 of these principles, but they kind of pair together nicely. And non-striving, that capacity of the mind to be constantly chasing the future, that's striving. And the non-striving, coming back home from that. And how gratitude helps us to acknowledge what's here without, as a bit of an antidote to that striving mind. Then this week is patience and trust, and they're almost 2 sides of the same coin. If we look at them closely, we see that if we can offer trust to this moment or trust to the future or the world, then it's actually the antidote to fear. And that enables us to wait calmly for that next thing to arrive, whatever it is, that patience. Because patience isn't just being able to sort of hold ourselves waiting for something, It's the ability to allow ourselves to be present and to trust that the future will arrive how it's meant to. Because there's various kinds of trust, but as I've said, each is a bit of an antidote to the background fear. And one of the questions that I put in the email for this was, it's a reflection really. We don't have to answer it, but it's helpful to reflect. Do I believe the world is for me or against me? Do I believe the world is for me or against me? And there's no wrong answer to this, but it helps to point us towards our level of trust with the world. So easy for us to fall into like minor states of anxiety or panic about what might happen. And the invitation is to acknowledge those moments, not to push them away, but just say, can I offer a bit of trust to this? Can I trust not that this will work out how I want to exactly, but fundamentally that we can handle how the next moment arrives. Because we've all got our needs, our wants, our desires. Nothing wrong with that, but some of the time it's not actually that good for us to get what we want. But if we can start to cultivate or build or learn to trust the world, then it eases some of that tension, eases some of that fear, that not knowing, that uncertainty. And we can feel that in the body, just taking the next minute, can I trust that this next minute will arrive how it's meant to? And this is difficult if we've had, difficult backgrounds, difficult experiences. It's not just switched on trust, because we've learned how to be how we are because of our experiences. But it's an invitation to open the door again, to open the door to trust. And we can shine that trust question, do I believe the world is for me or against me? We can shine that toward others. They might be included in the world. We can shine it back towards ourselves. And really, patience is a form of trust. When we're in the rush to get where we think we need to be, maybe we're running a few minutes late in the car or rushing for the bus or whatever, and our mind starts filling the present with worries and thoughts about what might happen if we get there late or if we don't make it. Actually, can we trust that that's exactly where we're supposed to be? That we're not meant to make that green light in front of us. Don't have to rush toward it. And the world is very geared up to instant gratification. So our patience doesn't often get an opportunity to be tested or to be trained. It used to be that we had to wait for the news, wait for something to come in the post. Now it's instant or the next day. But are we really any better off for it? So I think what we'll do is we'll go into another meditation. I'll ring the bell. So please find yourselves comfortable, feel free to adjust your position if you need to. And what we'll do, we'll bring our awareness to the breath if that's comfortable. And we'll use our breath as a focus point for this meditation. And the aim is not to stay focused on the breath. The aim is to recognize when the mind has wandered. The aim is not to stay focused on the breath. The aim is to recognize when the mind has wandered. So we can narrow our awareness onto the breath, onto the part of the body where we feel breathing the most. Maybe we feel it on the nose, maybe it's in the throat, chest, belly. And all we need to do is gently hold our awareness on this sensation, on this rhythm, until we notice that the mind has wandered. And then as soon as we notice, we acknowledge that the mind has wandered. We may even label it. We can say that's past or future. We might be more specific. And we return our awareness back onto the breath. Softening. So we're not fixated on the breath, we're receiving it. We can explore the present breath by noticing the texture of the breath. Familiarizing ourselves with it. Bringing the body and the mind together at one. With the breath. And with absolute patience, returning our awareness to the breath every time we notice we've wandered. Patience is a form of trust, but it's also a form of kindness. Giving ourselves permission to just be here. Intimate with the breath. Noticing the beginning and the middle and the end of the inhale. And the beginning and the middle and the end of the exhale. And we allow the breath to be our sole focus. And whenever the mind is on anything other than that, then that's our cue. That's our reminder. That's our prompt to come closer to the breath. Deeper into the breath. And as our awareness develops like this, we may begin to notice that mental activity as it arises. A little background whisper or chatter, commentary before it takes us away. Notice that, notice the whispers. And gently return, come home to this breath. And always softening softening back. This isn't about striving or reaching or gaining, it's about letting go. Trusting that this next breath will arrive exactly how it's supposed to. Trusting this practice of mindfulness that it's not about stopping thoughts. It's about noticing when we're thinking. And as soon as we notice, then we're mindful. Don't get lost in the past. We stay present. We stay with this breath. And we come back closer to the breath again. Riding the breath. And that occasionally the mind will sneak in, and before we know it, we've been thinking for 5 minutes about some problem, some event, some memory, some plan. And that's gone. We don't analyze it. We don't get involved in criticizing or judging. The skill is just to let go of that thinking pattern. And we do that by choosing the breath, however it appears to us. And if there's difficulties present, if there's persistent distraction or discomfort, then the invitation is to breathe alongside that experience, not to exclude it. To be present with it, no resistance. Trusting that we're able to be present with it. We don't need to go anywhere. we can be present with the breath and anything else that's present. Spacious. Every moment of awareness is an invitation to soften, to let go, to be. And the last invitation I will offer in this meditation is to trust, ourselves, to trust that we are enough. We don't need anything to be different. We don't need to qualify to be okay. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that, but we can create space for anything else to be here with us. And we're strong enough. We're soft enough to be here with it. And spending the last moment of the practice, as we do, just dedicating any of the benefits of this practice, be it peace, relaxation, awareness, kindness, presence. Dedicating that to whoever is in need of it. Spreading it out. Trusting that it will reach those that need it. And allowing the sound of the bell to gently guide us back into that awareness of the body, into that awareness of this space. And beginning to move in a way that feels good, that your body needs. So I will stop the recording.